Alright, before we start this video, I just want to mention a few things. I will be showing some gameplay, but it will not be my gameplay because there's one portion of the game I will not be able to actually show gameplay of because of what it deals with, and it's the multiplayer aspect of it. And just as well, I'm just going to show just random gameplay of it by a channel. I'll credit them. I'll do what I've done in the past where I'll just write the name out in a little text box to say whose video it is. So none of this footage you're gonna see I actually captured via emulation, even though I could because I did back this game up. I said these games because I actually have two different copies of it. I'll get into why in a second. Um, but I just want to clear that up before I started this video. But anyway, hope you guys will enjoy the video. And thanks for watching. Please like, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell button if you enjoy my videos. And yeah, thank you guys for like really watching the crap out of that Mario World GBA video. I did not think that video would get over 1,000 views. That's crazy. You guys are crushing it. So please share this video, share that video, share all my videos, man. Like you guys crush it with that. Like the algorithm for some reason picked that video up and it went crazy. So if I get in more videos like that, that'd be great. So thank you guys for liking that video and supporting that video. I actually did put more work into that than I usually do. So, um, yeah, but thank you guys so much. It really does mean a lot. Anyway, let's get into this video. So, today, in the same vein of like the Mario Advance series of games, I'm going to talk about another GBA. I don't want to call them like demakes, but they kind of are, but they're like remakes as well. They're like downgrades and kind of upgrades in a way. So they're like a remake, but like also kind of a reimagining of some things. But this one, I actually vividly remember picking up when it came out because we picked up two copies, and that is, and I actually have a box copy of this one. That is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Four Swords. And if you're not familiar with what Four Swords is, I will explain that in a second. But that's what drew me to this version of the game, is the Four Swords thing, um, and the fact that they were able to swish Zelda Link to the Past onto a Game Boy Advance cartridge, and give Link voice clips from Ocarina of Time, Young Link, when you swing the sword and stuff. So there are some subtle differences in like semi enhancements to this version. That being one of them. The other one being if you're familiar with the game. If you're not familiar with the game, I'll briefly explain it. About midway through the game, you unlock the ability to get a flute or ocarina, depending on what region you're from. If you're from Japan, it's called an ocarina. If you're from the U.S., it's called a flute. Anyway, you get this item, but before you do get this item, you get another item, which is a shovel, because you have to dig up the flute. If you guys want to see a playthrough of Link to the Past, I did do one a while ago. I did both versions, both English and Japanese, because they have different glitches, and I showed them off in the Japanese playthrough and the English playthrough I just did, just because I wanted to, just have a US playthrough of it, I guess. I just did it for fun. It was just something I did for fun. But anyway, so once you dig it up and obtain the flute, it overwrites your shovel in the Super Nintendo version. In the Game Boy Advance version, however, you actually get to keep the shovel. It's actually in the bottom right or bottom left corner of your inventory. So that was a big surprise for me when I first was playing through it because back when this came out, I was probably like maybe 12 or 13. And I was really familiar with the game. I still am. I can still beat the game pretty easily. and I know where everything is off the top of my head. So when I got the flute, I wasn't expecting to like go to the item menu and see the shovel still there, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what the frig, man?" I was like, "You can still use the shovel," and honestly, I don't know if there's a point to, other than the fact that you can, like, just use it for the hell of it. But you can use the shovel like in the digging game, of course, because that's where one of the hard pieces is. But outside that, in the Super Nintendo version, you can't use the shovel after you get the flute. So that was always kind of cool for me. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat that they let you have the shovel even after you get the flute. It just was weird to me and kind of funny that you could just dig in random spots. I think you could find like rupees and hearts and stuff like that, but I'm not sure. I really haven't messed around in the GBA version too much. Um, but another good like quality of life change they did was when you use the flute, you used to be able to not like back out of it once you got picked up by the bird, the duck, whatever it is. Um, you couldn't exit out of it. You had to pick a location, which is kind of annoying. If you accidentally pressed the use item button, you were locked into it. And if you didn't outrun the bird, you were stuck and you had to pick a location that you wanted to go. But in the Game Boy Advance version, you just press the B button and it backs you out, which is really nice. That's a really cool feature. But to go on top of that, they also added a brand new warping location, which is kind of weird that they even thought to do that because really there's no point to have it be a location. At least for me, the way I play through the game, like for me as a seasoned player of Link to the Past, there's no point to have this warp location. But for a newbie for the game, to someone that's new to the game, it is a very quality of life um, area to have unlocked for you if you miss something and you don't want to trudge all the way up Death Mountain again to get to Turtle Rock. And yes, they added a ninth location, which is right at the top of Turtle Rock. Now, I think you have to unlock the actual dungeon itself, like with the hammer stuff. I think you have to actually unlock it before it actually unlocks the warp point. I think. I don't think it gives it to you like straight away. I can't. I could be wrong about that because I honestly can't remember. It's been a long time since I played through the Game Boy Advance version. Um, but yeah. So other than that, there are some other like kind of major differences I'll get into in a second. But I want to first cover the Four Swords aspect of it, which is the multiplayer aspect of it, and probably one of the coolest selling points of the game back in the day, because it was the first time Zelda ever had like a multiplayer um, experience to it. So, Four Swords is basically you and possibly three other people, or in my case, me and my younger brother. You go through dungeons and you basically just try to collect rupees and certain items are in dungeons and then you collect them. And I'm trying to remember off memory because I have a better memory of Four Sword Adventure on GameCube because that was more of a fleshed out experience. This was more of a, I would liken Four Swords for GBA as being akin to like Bowser's Fury to Mario 3D World on Switch, but it still had some like fleshed out elements. Like once you get like a certain amount of, I forget what it was really, But once you get a certain amount of things, like you could progress in the game and had somewhat of a story. Um, I know the GameCube one had more of a story in it, but I don't think the Game Boy Advance one really had a story to it. But there were like perks you could get in the Link to the Past game if you got certain like I think they're called Triforce medals. They were like these little gold things that had the Triforce symbol on them. And if you got a certain amount of them, you could go to a certain part of Link to the Past, and you could unlock different like attacks. And I'm not sure what all they were because we never really got any of them. I don't think I ever got any of them. The only thing I ever did was the Four Swords dungeon that's in Link to the Past, which I'll get back to that in a second. I'll cover that last because I think you had to beat the game and then like you had to I think you had to beat Four Swords to like get the thief to move. I think I really can't remember how that worked. Someone can correct me if I'm what the requirements were, but I know there were certain requirements to get the thief to move. Um, but anyway, so you would go to a certain part of in Link to the Past. I think it was like the lumberjack house or something like that, and they would give you certain abilities, like for a certain amount of Triforce coins or whatever they were called. And one of them was like the whirlwind spin, which Link would like spin his sword and he could like move around, kind of like the Wind Waker one where he would hold in the attack button and Wind Waker Link would like go and like spin around. It was kind of like that, and I think he would even get dizzy. I think I don't remember because I never unlocked it, but I know that was one of them because um, the bosses in the Four Swords dungeon actually use some of the techniques you can get. And I'll get back to that in a second. But the last one I know of off the top of my head, like I said, there might be more. I don't really remember because I never really experienced all that part of the game because my younger brother kind of dropped off with wanting to play it, so I was kind of SOL. So I was like, okay, whatever. I just won't be able to experience that part of the game. Whatever, not a big deal. But one of the other movies you get was the downward thrust from Zelda 2, Adventure Link, and I'm not really sure how that would have worked in like a Link to the Past setting, but I know it was there. I'm pretty sure it was. I know the whirlwind spin was for sure. And I'm pretty sure you could get at least the downward thrust. And there might have been more as well. Like I said, that I'm not sure of. But that was like another big like change they made to the game. Is that in the Four Swords dungeon. Going back to the Four Swords dungeon, you had to do like these I believe that the Four Swords dungeon you had to do like 4 different rooms and they had 4 swords in it. And once you got all 4 swords, you could go into the final boss room and fight like shadow versions of the Four Swords versions of Link. Basically like a Dark Link fight. And they were pretty hard. Like I'm not gonna lie, they were pretty hard. And if you beat them, you got like this special like Dark World ending of the game that showed you like how many times you used items and like it actually gave you the name of each Dark World level and each Dark World boss, I believe, which is kind of cool because back then I didn't know the name of like Misery Mire and stuff like that. Like I didn't know the names of bosses like Helmasaur, Blind, stuff like that. I didn't know their names, so that was like kind of interesting that was like added in at that point. I didn't know any of the boss names or anything like that, so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, man, like the Game Boy Advance versions of like all these different like demakes and like remakes in some respects were really cool, and like it's just crazy that they went back in and like fixed some stuff, and they fixed a lot of the glitches that were in the English and Japanese versions of um, Link to the Past and the Super Nintendo version. I don't know if you can still like bomb jump. Um, I know there's a new glitch with the Pegasus boots. And like if you use the Pegasus boots and you get grabbed by the bird and you back out and then you run into a wall, you'll like bounce off of it. And if you like get yourself in between like two places where you can like bounce off a wall, you can get stuck in bounce forever. So you can like soft lock the game. Because I don't think you can save and quit after that. Oh yeah, and one more feature I forgot to mention. This game as well does use the sleep function. You could also put the Game Boy to sleep as well. And when you saved the game, you didn't have to save and quit. You could save and continue, and it would save you exactly where you were. I think exactly. At least if you were in like the overworld, it would save you exactly where you were. I'm not sure about a dungeon. I'd have to check that. Because I'm not sure. Like I said, all this is me going off of memory from like playing it like 20 some odd years ago. When did it come out? Let me see when this came out. Because I honestly don't remember. Wow, I should not have looked that up, man. 2002. Holy crap. Man, I vividly remember picking that game up and being like so freaking excited. Holy shit, I am getting old, dude. God damn, man. Time flies. Like I remember vividly like being super excited picking this up and like actually reading the manual in the car. And like, oh man, cuz I think I even found the manual at one point like years ago. But it was tore up so I threw it out. But yeah, man, like man, that makes me feel old, but man, I love this game. This version is really cool. And I need to go back and replay through it again because I really do enjoy it. But as a special bonus for you guys, we as you guys know, we recently went to Virginia last month, and while we were there, I saw the Japanese version of it, and I was like on the fence about it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy it because it was like $100, which isn't super cheap. It's not super high price, but it was from a vendor we knew, and I didn't mind spending a little bit more to like help them out. And I let my wife pick between it was this and Super Mario Advance 4 Japanese, and she picked this, and kind of glad she did because I actually do love this box art. This box art is so freaking cool. Like look at this, like such a cool like contrast the colors, the blue and green makes it pop really nice. Like it's really cool. And sorry I didn't show you guys the cartridge and stuff. I just don't feel like messing with the box protector and like opening the box up and all that. Um, but yeah, really cool. I'll show you the cartridge with this one real quick. So grab it out here real quick. I just trim my nails so I have like no nail to like grab onto stuff. So the cartridge looks pretty plain though, to be honest. But there you go. There's the cartridge. Show you guys the manual. There you go. And back of it, because it's got some pretty neat artwork. Man, I love that. That Link to the Past Link look. I love that shit, man. So cool. Cool shit, man. Shout out to my wife, man. She knows me really well. She should. We've been together for like a billion years at this point, so she knows what I like really well. So she made the right pick with this one. Um, all these stupid plots are not staying up for me. But as I put this back, I'll end this video. But yeah, I really do enjoy this game, and I enjoy I enjoy the Super Nintendo version the most because that's the one I have the most like affiliation with, and the most memories of playing. But I do have fond memories of this one as well, and I did enjoy it for what it was back in the day, and I think I would really still enjoy it. The only thing that kind of bothers me about the GBA ports of like all these like remakes, like the Mario Advance and the Zelda games, and I don't think Wolfenstein 3Ds suffered from it as much, but they always like jacked up the brightness like a bunch, and especially in the like Mario World games, it's really noticeable. But in Link to the Past, I think they knew people had an issue with that, and you can actually adjust the brightness in that game, so it's not as bad, but it's still pretty noticeable. Like you have like that whitish tinge to everything. That's the only thing I don't like about it, and I believe people like are trying to like do mods and stuff. I believe I saw one a while ago for like some of the Mario Advance games to like kind of dim down that like blown out whiteout stuff. But I'm not. I that could be me just misremembering. But that's the only gripe I have with like the GBA demakes or remakes, whatever you want to call them, of these games is that they kind of get blown out because you got to think when these games came out, the Game Boy Advance SP wasn't a thing yet. Because if you notice, like later GBA games didn't really have like their brightness cranked up or anything like that because the SP was a thing, and you had the backlight. So, and then when the 101 model came out, that was the best version of the GBA to get. And the micro, of course, you when you played it on those, you really noticed, and especially the pocket, you really notice it when you play them on the pocket. But yeah, but that's the only minor gripe I have. Like, other than that, like, these are still really good ports. And I implore you guys, if you're a fan of Link to the Past, go check this version out. Not this one. Go, if you're familiar with it and you're a nerd like me, get this version. But if you're not, I do recommend you getting Link to the Past Four Swords. So it is a very good port, and I think it still holds up today. So yeah, anyway, that'll do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoyed me just sitting here talking about Link to the Past. I know I talked about this one for a while, but I really do have like fond memories of actually picking this one up. Sorry I kind of drove this video on a little bit longer than usual, but hope you guys will enjoy it anyway. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below, and what you think about this version in general. Did you play it? Did you buy it growing up on the day it released? Did you play it later on? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious what you guys think. And what do you think about the Four Swords aspect of it as well? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. This has been Rolling with Kevin, and I am rolling out. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, click the bell button so you get notified when I upload videos, go live, or post on my community page. Shout out to go to my Patreon supporters: Sunny Silva, Catfish Cat, Lee Fernay, Team Dale, Elliot Scott, Preliab, Harry Fernandez, William Swift, AJ Gottawa, Oliver Friedrich, Lynn Ernhorn, Marcus Mahaley, Brianna, and the Pay Now Please, Nuclear Reactive Man, Rebecca H., Just Good Enough, Gorgon Kaluskovic, Justin M. Daggins, Daniel Childs, Patrick Oliver, and Harold Huckabee. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. If you want to support my channel, it's only $1 a month. That's all I ask. It really does help with the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for supporting and watching. If you did enjoy this video, I'll see you guys in the next video.